Okay, let's see if I can explain this to you. You've got your numbers good. Okay, you have to figure out your income. Now, to do your income, you have to figure out how many break-even units there are. And to do that, you divide the fixed cost right here by the sales. Hold on, let me show you. Here's your sales or your selling price. And this is your variable cost. And that is 75 and 91 together. So that says 166. So if I subtract the variable cost from the price, I come up with $109 for your what we call contribution margin. Now to find out what your break-even units are, okay, you will divide that 109 into the fixed cost. So that's going to be equal 43,998 divided by that 109. And this says dollars, but actually it's not dollars. It's just a number. And we'll call it a number. Okay. So now I rounded that to about 400 units. It's just simply because it's easier. So you have to sell 400 units to cover these costs. So if I take 400 units and multiply that times the 275, I'm going to come up with $111,000. I want to have at least a 9% profit. So I'm going to say that 10% is $10,000. I want to have a $10,000 profit, 10% of 111,000. So if I take now the $10,000 I want as profit and divide that by the 109, it comes up with 0 equal this divided by 109. Oh, and now it's really being difficult, isn't it? Equal 10,000. Oh, it doesn't think it's that. So if we take 10,000 divided by 109, we come up with we need to make 91 more to make up that $10,000. This $10,000, if it becomes the added like a fixed expense. I mean, that's how much we have to cover to get that $10,000. Now, I rounded that too. So now I have break-evens at 400. Additional units are 100. So to make my $10,000 here, I have to sell 500 units. So now that sets up to find out what your income is. So my 500 units times your 275 selling price is 137,500. So that would go right up here, 137,500, and your total income then would be 137,500. And I would probably do that in an equation like you did this, or you added this up and just put it in. Now to find my variable expenses, and let's make that look pretty. So now I have to find my variable expenses. I'm selling 500 lenses and 500 cameras, right? And each one costs 75 and 91. I multiply that out here. So it's going to be 500 times 75. And I've actually done that down here too. And this is going to be 500 times 91. So now we need to make all of these commas so it's not aggravating. So now what's my total variable expenses? Well, that's going to be the sum of those two. And we just hit enter and we find out it's $83,000. So now I should be able to take the income and subtract the total fixed expenses and subtract the variable expenses and have close to $10,000 in net income. And we'll hope I did it right. So I have $10,502. Does that make sense now? And then you would simply just copy those across. You should be able to. Now, if you wanted to increase one with a percentage, you would increase this, say 10%, and then figure out how many units you would have to sell to get that amount and increase your variable expenses by the number that you've increased. So like if this was 550, it took 550 to make that number, you would have to multiply your lenses by 550 times the 75 and the camera by 550 times 91. And that would change your variable cost here, but it would give you a higher net income in the end. Does that help? Email with questions.